And think about this, Jeff. The fact that you and I are sitting here right now, you in an anchor chair, me as a guest, on television, could that have happened 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1619? No, it couldn't. It couldn't have.
Well, let's talk about Ron DeSantis, because the Florida Republican governor, widely expected to run for president. The College Board this past week, they changed the course offering for their AP African American Studies course following criticism from Ron DeSantis and other Republicans. We spoke to the CEO of the College Board on this program this past week, and he said that the changes that were made to the course had nothing to do with the public discussion, with the criticism that the College Board faced. Take a look.
The revisions were complete by the end of December, far before this public discussion. And the revisions were based only on two sources: the feedback from professors and students and teachers in the pilot course, and returning to principles that are true of every single AP course.
Do you buy what the College Board is saying?
I do. I do. We're talking about academics, not politicians. I mean, these sorts of things happen in academia all the time. Just because you write a book, just because you teach a course, just because you've written an important article that was big in the social discussion, doesn't automatically mean that it needs to be taught in a classroom. And I know I'm going to get in trouble with a lot of people, but I want to pull the camera, the aperture back here. What Ron DeSantis is doing is deeply, deeply insulting. What he's basically saying to the nation, and to African Americans in particular, it's that your role in the building of this country, the maintenance of this country, means nothing. That without you, we could have gotten along just fine. And that's what's so, it's insulting, it's hurtful. And think about this, Jeff. The fact that you and I are sitting here right now, you in an anchor chair, me as a guest, on television, could that have happened 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1619? No, it couldn't. It couldn't have. And one thing I like to remind people, particularly young people, history is not really history when you're talking about African Americans in this country. My cousins and I are the first generation in my family to not have to pick cotton. We are the first generation that did not have to live under Jim Crow. I'm 55 years old. That's how long this has been a democracy. So Governor DeSantis, if you want Americans to truly understand how great this country is, you cannot understand how great this country is without filling in those gaps and holes with the history of African Americans in this country.